Over the years, 1,000-pound Sisters star Chris Combs has become a real fan favorite, and his recent weight loss update confirms his position as one of the show's main draws. The show is technically about Chris's younger sisters, 38-year-old Tammy Slaton and 37-year-old Amy Slaton, but several of the Slaton siblings get screen time. 44-year-old Chris made his television debut on the show in 2020, and he's been a big part of the narrative ever since. Inspired by his famous sisters, Chris has been on his own weight loss journey since premiering on the show. 1,000-Pound Sisters Season 6 found him ready to embark on the next step in his health and fitness goals, skin removal surgery. With talk of the show having to restructure to accommodate Tammy and Amy, read on for reasons why Chris has proven he should be one of the beloved show's top stars. Chris's Season 6 weigh in an incredible transformation. Chris once weighed over 450 pounds. After having bariatric surgery in 2022, Chris lost 150 pounds and weighed 300 pounds at his last weigh-in. Eric Smith posted an amazing before and after of Chris on Instagram. In March 2024, his Dr. Drive. On one side is a photo of Chris before he lost weight, and on the right is a photo of Chris finishing a 5K run. During 1,000-Pound Sisters Season 6, Chris weighed 299 pounds, so he only lost 1 pound since his last weigh-in. Despite the setback, Chris lost an incredible 150 pounds since embarking on his journey. Chris had skin removal surgery. He's finally ready to move on like several of his other siblings. Chris is desperate to remove all the excess skin left behind by his rapid weight loss. He was devastated when his doctor said he wanted Chris to lose another 60 pounds first, but he made it happen. Chris decided to start with the skin around his stomach, and would reassess his chest area at a later date. Chris went in for skin removal surgery during 1,000-Pound Sisters Season 6, but his results remain a mystery. Chris is lucky in love. He adores his wife while most of the Slatons have had terrible luck when it comes to love. Chris has been happily married to 36-year-old Brittany Combs since 2016. The couple met while they were both managers at McDonald's, and the two have been together ever since. Chris was married once before, and he had 2 children with his ex-wife. Chris's daughter and grandchild also live with Chris and Brittany at the time, so it's a full house. Chris also has 3 young grandchildren, who he and Brittany raise as their own. When Tammy's new rental house wasn't available right away, she briefly moved in with Chris and Brittany. Chris's daughter and grandchild also live with Chris and Brittany at the time, so it's a full house. He's happily married to Brittany Combs. She's his one only. Tammy's lived with many other family members over the years, and it always ended in tears. She even lived with Chris at one point, and it went badly. Therefore, it was a little surprising when Chris came to the rescue. However, this loyal hubby is also a caring brother, although he and Tammy have had their ups and downs. The fact that he's always there for his family is one reason why the 1,000-Pound Sisters star is such a fan favorite. Chris and Brittany know Tammy very well, so they know what they're getting into. The conflict will provide plenty of drama for the beloved unscripted show, and will be a great reminder of how Chris is ready for more screen time. With the wife he loves so much by his side, he's ready for anything. Chris has drama with Tammy. Plenty of entertainment. When his sister, Tammy, needed a place to stay, Chris was there for her. He and his wife, 36-year-old Brittany Combs, had purchased the house next door. The plan was to fix it up and rent it out, but they decided to rent it to Tammy instead. With the hot-headed Tammy living right next door, there will be plenty of drama for 1,000-Pound Sisters Season 7. 1,000-Pound Sisters, is Brittany Combs butting heads with Chris Combs' siblings? It could mean trouble for their marriage. 1000-Pound Sisters Season 6 found Brittany Combs clashing with Chris Combs' siblings far more than she used to, which could mean trouble for their marriage. The show focuses on the lives and weight loss journeys of sisters Tammy Slaton and Amy Slaton. But several other family members are a big part of the story, including Chris and his wife. The Slatons are a close-knit clan, so they're always together, and they lean on each other. While it's easy to enjoy the show because of the extraordinary weight loss journeys of several cast members, the Slatons' family dynamic also entertains. While many of the Slatons haven't been lucky in love, Chris and Brittany appear to be perfectly content together. 36-year-old Brittany is 44-year-old Chris's second wife, but little is known about his first wife. The couple met at work, when they were both managers at McDonald's, and they've been happily married ever since. Brittany has always appeared on the show, alongside Chris, but she's been a more prominent figure during 1000-Pound Sisters Season 6. While Brittany always tries to be there for the Slatons, she has recently butted heads with several of Chris's siblings. Brittany-Amy's argument about the gym triggered the biggest fight of the season. The Slatons are a loud and boisterous bunch, so it's very easy for Brittany to disappear into the background when her in-laws are around. Despite her attempts to lie low, she inadvertently set off a massive fight between Tammy, Amy and 1000-Pound Sisters Amanda Halterman. Since no good deed goes unpunished, he paid for it dearly. It all started when Chris tried to do a good deed. After a recent doctor's visit didn't go as well for all the Slatons as they'd hoped, Chris bought each of them a gym membership. When Brittany innocently suggested the siblings engage in a friendly competition to see who could lose more weight, Amy resisted. She said she didn't want a competition because it would be about winners and losers. Brittany pointed out that they'd all be winners, as long as they lost any weight at all. Amanda got involved in the fight, and Amy ended up storming out. The fight spilled over into an even bigger fight between Amanda and Tammy, who then left. The fight continued to reverberate throughout the rest of the season. Chris puts his marriage first, but his sisters need him too. Chris is a great brother and is always there for his sisters. As the patriarch of the family, his siblings depend on him, and he never lets them down. As his loyal wife, Brittany has always been by Chris's side, and has done her best to be there for the Slatons. 1000-Pound Sisters Season 6 has pushed Chris and Brittany to their limit. The problem started when Tammy rented a house owned by Amanda. After living there for a while, Tammy grew disappointed with Amanda's refusal to make timely repairs. During 1000-Pound Sisters Season 6, Tammy needed Chris to come over to put plastic film over a broken window. Tammy claimed that the window was broken by Amanda's sons, whom she says are always at her house, breaking things and eating all her food. Now, Amanda refused to fix the window that her sons had broken while horsing around, and Tammy's frustrations had reached a boiling point. Determined to move out of the house, Tammy gave Amanda her notice, but needed a place to live. Brittany doesn't want Tammy to move in. It's time for Tammy to stand on her own 2 feet. With Tammy needing help, Chris had to run to her rescue. He and Brittany had just purchased the house next door to their house, and he thought it would be the perfect solution to their problems. Instead of renting the house out to a stranger, Tammy could move in instead. He took Tammy to show her the property, and calling it a fixer-upper would be generous. The house was in serious disrepair, and needed a lot of work, but Chris promised Tammy he'd have it all repaired before she moved in. Tammy had to leave Amanda's house by the date they had agreed upon. Tammy expressed concern about the timing. Chris told her that if the house wasn't ready by then, Tammy could stay with him and Brittany for a while. Brittany gave him a look that said this was news to her. It was very obvious that Brittany didn't want Tammy to move in, but Tammy didn't want to move in either. The last thing Tammy wants to do is cause trouble for Chris and Brittany, but there's no question that she'd let Tammy move in if Chris asked. Brittany loves her in-laws. She's always there for the Slaytons. The Slaytons may be a handful, but it's obvious that Brittany loves her in-laws. They may not be easy to deal with, but they're loyal and are always there for each other. If Chris really needed Tammy to move in with them for a while, Brittany would probably agree to it, but it wouldn't be good for Chris's marriage. Tammy isn't always easy to get along with, and she probably wouldn't be an easy house guest either. Brittany by his side, Chris had bariatric surgery on 1,000-pound sisters, and lost 150 pounds. While his weight loss has taken center stage, Brittany has quietly been on her own weight loss journey. It's unclear how much weight she's lost. She expressed interest in having weight loss surgery herself. And she was excited about the family's new group gym membership. Chris and Brittany will continue to lose weight together, but not if the other Slaytons drive Brittany away.